on this week's episode of Bayou Wild TV.
That's why these are my favorite water snakes, is these broad-banded water snakes. They have gorgeous bellies.
I think it's a garter. We was never really exposed to the fear of snakes when we were younger, so we just hung around them and caught them all the time. They were like friends.
This is a western mud snake. This is a native species, Louisiana. Absolutely gorgeous snake. These have got smooth scales. You notice how much shinier it is compared to the other ones?
When I was growing up, I was very afraid of snakes. My family didn't really like snakes, but just the more I learned, the less I was afraid, and that's kind of why we do what we do.
We've had field trips at our house for our school where we just go and show everyone our snakes.
Closed captioning is brought to you by Global Outdoors. Find your next adventure and share your experiences with others by downloading the Global Outdoors mobile app or visiting globaloutdoors.com.
Every day, we strive to preserve traditions that have spanned generations.
Around every turn of the bayou, Mother Nature reveals unique people, places, and experiences.
And the bounty of animals and fish. Well, in Louisiana, we just call that lagniappe. I'm Don Dubuque.
I'm Chris LeCoq.
I'm Captain Martha Spencer. Join us as we document the adventure,
Sportsmanship,
and heritage that make us Bayou Wild. Welcome to another Bayou Wild adventure, and this is a, well, what'd you say, a kind of slithery adventure?
Yeah, what can you hunt that doesn't have legs and doesn't have fins and it doesn't have claws?
Louisiana's known for it. Very interesting. We're talking Louisiana snakes, and we're here today with a family of snake experts led by Kevin Hood. Come on and join us. Meet the Hood family from Springfield. Many online social media users recognize them as Louisiana's #1 snake family. On any given day, you can find Kevin, Rachel, Kyler, and Landon trekking through Louisiana bayous and swamps, searching for those slithery creatures that most find terrifying.
You never know what you can find. I mean, may not find anything. People might flip us all the time. It's funny, it started with my mom catching snakes, and we were doing the flower bed in the garden. She catches little rough earth snakes, and she wasn't scared of them. I would hold them, and that's where the fascination began. And then, you know, most of our fears with snakes is learned, you know, brought down from generations. So to break that cycle, it really is good to educate. I always tell people, you know, you fear what you don't understand, and that's what snakes, unfortunately, most of the information, you know, the more you learn, the less you'll be scared of them. We have like over 36,000 followers now on the page, and thousands of them tell us all the time, you know, I used to be deathly afraid of snakes, I would kill them, and now I can just watch them in my yard, and that's the goal.
But this family is no gimmick. Their mission is to share knowledge and educate as many people as possible that snakes are not as dangerous as most believe.
We was never really exposed to the fear of snakes when we were younger, so we just hung around them and caught them all the time. They were like friends.
Coming up next.
Got him!
I think it's a garter.
Don, the Outdoors Guy, here to tell you about my Mr. Outdoors portable butane stove. A camp breakfast in the woods, frying a hot shoreline lunch, or thankfully serving up a candlelight dinner when the power's out, the Mr. Outdoors portable stove and its compact carrying case is there whenever I need it. Find Mr. Outdoors cookout stoves and durable stainless steel portable charcoal grills at mroutdoorscookout.com. Use discount code DDKK23.
One of the reasons why Double D has been around for 50 years is because we are consistent with what built the business. And we go to great lengths to make sure that when you bring a deer or a hog or whatever it may be, your meat stays your meat all the way through the process. But we want to be as true to the original intent, which is a local meat company. And that's something that we want to maintain for as long as the Lord lets us do it.
Become a supporter of the Louisiana Wildlife Agents Association today by visiting supportlwaa.org. Browse the selection of exclusive gear, including t-shirts in a variety of colors and styles, plus hats, koozies, and more. Gear up today and support the LWAA. Continuing this week's episode, we're turning over logs, peeling back brush piles, and diving into the mud.
I see.
Why? Because that's what it takes to catch a snake in the wild.
This is probably a couple years old. Most snakes, when I always talk to you about venomous snakes, the only venomous snake in Louisiana that lays eggs is coral snakes.
Okay.
So if you see eggs in your yard, you can almost guarantee it's not going to be a venomous snake.
You know, in Louisiana and the Gulf Coast, families like to do a lot of things together. They go to the beach together, they go fishing, they go crabbing. Today, we met a family, the Hood family, that sticks together and they like to go catching snakes together.
But it's fun and we've already been herping. I've never really been scared of snakes because they introduced me at a young age and I've just always enjoyed going and finding different types of snakes. It's really fun.
That's why these are my favorite water snakes, is these broad-banded water snakes. They have gorgeous bellies. Because if you looked at that and said, oh, it looks like a diamond shape, you're going to think, oh, it's a venomous snake, and you're going to kill it.
What about the eye?
So technically, our pit vipers in Louisiana, which are all of the rattlesnakes, copperheads, cottonmouths, technically do have an elliptical pupil. But from a distance, you can't really see the pupil shape, right? You'd have to get too close, and a snake can strike a good half to two-thirds of their body length.
You know, I've been on a few snake hunts. In fact, that was one of the things my uncle took me out to do as a kid. And we'd walk along the railroad tracks by the swamp and we'd find them around logs and on the edge of the bank. But one thing I never did was jump in the mud to grab one, and we saw that today.
So one of the best ID markers for this kind of snake, all the water snakes, see those dark vertical lines along the side of the mouth? Look like stripes going from the nose all the way to the jaw. Those are what the water snakes will have, but if you see a snake in the United States that has those stripes, it's going to be a non-venomous snake. Now you may not, they don't all have it, but if it does have it, it's non-venomous.
You take a kid when he's young and you bring him out to a baseball field, a soccer field, and he kind of picks it up from the dad and the family and gets into it. Well, this family, it's a little bit different, but it is no different in that the kids get into the family activity, which is grabbing snakes.
Go, buddy, go. Go. Get it?
I think so. Yeah, wait, no, I grabbed the wrong thing, but I got him. I think I broke my sunglasses in my pocket. I was never really exposed to the fear of snakes when we were younger, so we never really had that fear, because fear comes from other people showing it to you, because kids are so absorbent.
When I was growing up, it was like I was very afraid of snakes. My family didn't really like snakes, and so if they saw one, they're like, oh, you have to kill it. immediately. I didn't really know why, I just knew they were scary and bad or whatever. And then we met when I was a teenager, and we were together about 7.5 years, and I didn't really know that he was a snake enthusiast or really knew a whole lot about snakes until we had kids. And so the more I learned, the more I was like, okay, they're not that bad. They actually turn out to be really great pets, easy to take care of. But just the more I learned, the less I was afraid, and that's kind of why we do what we do.
But it's very interesting. Not a lot of other people like snakes, but they're all very interested whenever I tell them about it. And they all like to come see them sometimes. We've had field trips at our house for our school where we just go and show everyone our snakes.
So we just went out and procured some snakes in the wild, but this one here is actually one of your pets. What do we have here?
All right, so this is a harmless gray rat snake. These are often found around chicken coops, so they get the nickname chicken snake. Chicken snake is actually not a kind of snake, but this is what they're usually referring to.
So people that have them probably think that, oh no, they're going to eat my chickens, but why are they not necessarily a bad thing?
They're great to have around. Yeah, they'll get the occasional egg, but the issue is they're eating more of the rodents that hang around. Most people don't realize how much rodent issue there is around coops. They'll eat the feed, and they'll eat the poop, but they also spread diseases because they're often covered in fleas and ticks. You know, so when a rat snake won't eat fleas and ticks, but if they eat a rat and it's covered in them, it's technically eating and killing those fleas and ticks. So
they're actually a little more beneficial than harmful.
Oh yeah, absolutely. This is one of the best snakes to have around. They're not like a king snake in that they'll eat other snakes. But they will, you know, they'll steal an egg from time to time. I always tell people, look, they're eating way more rodents. And these are great climbers. You know, we often tell people if they find a snake and they're like, how in the world did a snake get there? It was probably a rat snake. It's almost always a rat snake. They climb straight up a tree. You know, they'll climb straight up bricks, siding. We have 48 species of snakes in Louisiana. Wow. And only 7 of those are venomous. And then we're talking about the eastern diamondback is one of the venomous.
Endangered.
It's almost, yeah, it's critically endangered. So, you know, you're very unlikely to see one of those. So really 6 out of 48 are non-venomous, you know, are venomous. So the majority of snakes are going to be non-venomous. But yeah, this is a wild snake that we've had for a few years now. We bring them to snake shows at schools, birthday parties, libraries and such like that. It's really common snake, so we always try to let people see it.
It's very friendly. Hi, Andy. How old is Andy?
I would say about 6 or 7 years. You know, it wasn't one we have from birth, so we don't know for sure, but it might be a little older than that. But we've had him for, I think, 3 or 4 years now.
I'm actually very proud of myself at the moment.
Yeah, you're doing great.
People think, oh, they're gonna grip you. It's like he's not putting any grip on me. He's just, enough to hold on. So.
Exactly. Yeah, just enough to not fall. You know,
and if you have to handle a snake, what's the best way to do it?
You don't want to grab them by the neck, like people think to grab them by the neck, and you don't want to just hold just the neck and then flop around because you can injure their spine. They're going to stay the calmest if you can grab them in the middle of the body. Now, obviously, this is only recommended ever to touch a non-venomous snake. If you're not sure, message our page. We'll tell you exactly what it is. We don't even really encourage people to go out and grab snakes. But, if the situation arises and that's the only way to get out of your house and it's a harmless snake.
Put it in a bag, maybe?
Yeah. A lot of times, even like bigger snakes, if you lay over a garbage can or a bucket, you can kind of shoo it into that, then flip it over, put a lid on it. That works really good.
Such a wild feeling.
Right? It feels really cool.
Yeah.
That's what we always tell people. You don't have to love them. You don't even have to like them. Just don't kill them, So that's our goal. Our Facebook page is growing. It's Louisiana Snake ID on Facebook. We do a lot of educational shows at libraries, at schools, and birthday parties and stuff. And it's really good to catch the kids at a young age because they learn they're not as bad as, people told us we are. And we never encourage kids to catch snakes, right? It's always, hey, look, if you see a snake, get mom or dad. But our goal is to make sure that mom and dad doesn't end up killing it. And we find it has a lot of success with that. Whenever the kids really start liking the snakes, the parents realize they can't kill them, then it'd be kind of bad for upset the kids. So.
You mentioned the word snake, and it gets people's attention. And a lot of people, it goes all the way back to Adam and Eve. The snake got a bad rap, unfortunately. And there are some problematic, venomous snakes that can be dangerous, but for the most part, Snakes are just one of those creatures that fits in with Mother Nature perfectly. They've got a role and a thing to do, and this one family has spent a long time trying to educate the public about the good part of snakes, the good side of a snake.
They're nature's best chemical-free pest control. I always tell people that, and just kind of let them do their thing. They don't want to bother people ever, you know?
Yeah, and that's when we started looking for a new house. We were kind of looking for land more so than just the house. We were living in a neighborhood, and the kids were kind of getting older, and you know, we want them to be able to be more in nature. And so we were looking at a bunch of different houses, and when we got to the house that we are currently in, the real estate agent does not like snakes. She did not want to be anywhere near snakes or whatever. We go on the back porch, and there was a little king snake. It was a king snake, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. On the back porch was a juvenile king snake, speckled king snake, and she runs back in the house, and she's hiding in the kitchen like, oh my gosh, there's a snake. And she's thinking, I just lost this sale. Like, there's no way people are gonna, right? But she had just made the sale. Like, he caught it, and we looked at each other, and we were like,
this is it.
This is it.
And like, we would go to the property while we're waiting for the house to sell and close, and we'd catch snakes and catch snakes, catch turtles and frogs.
Coming up next, you know, in Louisiana, we've got an awful lot of invasive species, and often before we realize it, they're here and become a threat. And we're going to do a preemptive strike today here at Fred's on the River with the snakehead. We got it scaled. What are you doing here now, Chef?
They're sitting inside out there, that's all. Put a little bit of olive oil inside, just to kind of make it moist, keep it moist. And we're going to put it now on a barbecue pit. All right, the whole fish. And put the vegetable.
We love our children. We protect them. We guide them. We prepare them for life in the world. With all that we do, from deep in our hearts, we cannot control all things. Life-threatening illnesses and disabilities affect far too many of our children each year. While we cannot change the circumstance, we can make dreams come true. Dreams to provide hope, to provide spiritual healing and strength, to provide moments of happiness and relief in the hardest of times. We can give a glimmer of light and hope in a time of darkness and despair. Join huntofalifetime.org to help make dreams come true, to provide hope for children with life-threatening illnesses and disabilities. Hunt of a Lifetime is a non-profit organization fulfilling dreams for hunting and fishing trips to youth 21 and under with life-threatening illnesses and disabilities. Visit huntofalifetime.org to learn how you can make a difference.
Closed captioning is brought to you by Global Outdoors. Find your next adventure and share your experiences with others by downloading the Global Outdoors mobile app or visiting globaloutdoors.com.
All right, we're not cooking snakes today, but something you might think is pretty close, the snakehead fish. You may be asking yourself, what in the world is a snakehead? Indigenous to Asia and Africa, snakeheads were found to be invasive in the Potomac River region of Maryland and Virginia. The northern snakehead, the most common of the species, has also found its way into waterways in Georgia, Florida, and most recently northern parts of Louisiana. Strongly resembling a shoepick or bowfin, the snakehead has an elongated body, but is set apart by long fins on both the top and bottom. It has the head of a speckled trout with jaws like teeth and a scale pattern similar to a python, making the snakehead creature sure to catch the attention of any adventurous outdoorsman. But how do they taste? Well, our friend Chef Philippe Parola, with his motto, "Can't beat 'em, eat 'em," is the perfect guy to share a recipe for this peculiar aquatic creature.
Start
little bit about this fish. This is an
Yeah.
invasive species. The first one was discovered in Louisiana, up in Concordia. What do the biologists say about the future of these things moving in further and becoming more prolific?
Well, this is what I know. I'm not a biologist by any means, but I'm a chef and I'm a sportsman. That's why I'm involved with invasive species in general. Here it is. To me, this fish is fun to catch. I've seen it. Look at, I mean, they will take any bait you can throw at them, literally.
How long do you think it'll be before they get prolific in Louisiana? Or do you think maybe they're here? We've got a population.
I think after all the years I've been working with invasive species, I think that these fish will never get to the point of being prolific, simply because, again, it's easy to catch, it's fun to catch, it's good to eat. We're going to show you that. I don't see these fish to become a problem. Actually, in Maryland, it's already on the menu in several restaurants, so chefs already adapt to it. So I have julienne vegetable here with some cherry tomatoes, okay? And what we're gonna do here is we're gonna put some Cajun seasoning. Olive oil, that's it.
All right, we got the fish gutted. We got it scaled. What are you doing here now, Chef?
Just seasoning inside that there, that's all. Put a little bit of olive oil inside just to kind of make it moist, keep it moist. And we're gonna put it now on a barbecue pit, all right? The whole fish, right here. And so now, what we have to do, come up and put the vegetable.
All right,
But
so there she goes. How
Give it-
long do you think it's gonna take?
30 minutes, 35 minutes, it'll be fine.
Stick around, we'll be back to give you a little bit of sample of our snakehead fish.
In Louisiana, food brings everyone together. These are the flavors that make friends out of total strangers. The flavors that remind you of home. It's the meals you crave, that take time, that show love. Because in Louisiana, we cook. And we know that when we come together to cook and eat, life gets better. So pull up a chair, leave room for seconds, and pass a good time. Because life needs Louisiana flavor, baby.
Delta Marina is Plaquemines Parish fishing one-stop. Get live bait, fuel, ice, tackle, and marine supplies. Then launch into the world's most productive saltwater fishing. Return to the fishing cleaning station, relax in first-class cabins overlooking the bayou, all in Delta Marina's safety video-monitored parking lot. Need a fishing charter guide? Delta Marina can hook you up. Cook your catch in your kitchenette or dine in the upstairs restaurant. Visit Delta Marina for a day or a week. Stop in just off Highway 11 down Rosemarie Drive in Empire. Visit thedeltamarina.com.
Okay, Chef, how long has it been on the grill now?
A good 35, 40 minutes, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see how sizzling it is, and it's, I mean, it's really beautiful, but the smell, huh? See how easy it is? Look at how beautiful and white the meat is, right? So, ready? All right, we're gonna put one piece. Feel ready?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna put a little vegetable on top. A couple of those nice little tomatoes there. And then we're gonna squeeze a little bit of lemon juice on it. You see, like this? And a drop of olive oil. That's it. And now you got the most healthiest fish you can have. Invasive species, there you go.
Let's see what snakehead tastes like.
What do you think?
Tastes like chicken. No, kidding.
Well,
I tell you, that is a very unique taste.
I know.
I can't compare it to any other fish I've ate, but it's good, delicious.
I mean, and look at how beautiful the dish looked like.
Well, let's get an unbiased opinion over here.
You go ahead with with my buddy.
Dave Rostow from Fred's on the River. You've cooked everything you can imagine that walks, flies, swims, or crawls. Here, give us an opinion on this snakehead.
Well, let me say this, Don. Now, Philippe I've known for quite a long time. And every now and then Philippe calls and says, David, I got something I want to cook down at Fred's. Snakehead fish. Imagine that. Isn't that something? I'm trying to see what I can compare it to.
It's a unique taste to me. But it's a good flavor.
Very good.
Good job on that, Chef.
Very good job.
There you have it, snakehead fish coming to a bayou and maybe a dinner table near you.
I'm Meredith Pelche from Thibodaux, Louisiana, and I won this boat from CCA Star in their raffle drawing. I love to fish, probably since I was about 5-6 years old. Oh, I'm very excited. It was totally unexpected.
Don, the Outdoors Guy, here to tell you about my Mr. Outdoors portable butane stove. A camp breakfast in the woods, frying a hot shoreline lunch, or thankfully serving up a candlelight dinner when the power's out, the Mr. Outdoors portable stove in its compact carrying case is there whenever I need it. Find Mr. Outdoors cookout stoves and durable stainless steel portable charcoal grills at mroutdoorscookout.com. Use discount code DDKK23. As we've said before, this episode was another one for the books, with unique people and unique flavors that are just another example of the diversity found when you spend time in the great outdoors.
Our goal really is just snake education, right? Our goal isn't to make people love snakes, just don't kill them. You know, that's what we always tell people. You don't have to love them, you don't even have to like them, just don't kill them. This is a western mud snake. This is a native species, Louisiana, one of our favorite species. These guys live in the muck in the swamp. Absolutely gorgeous snake. These have got smooth scales. You notice how much shinier it is compared to the other ones?
Being able to hold them and show them off, it's really cool to like have a different type of animal that you can let people see and hold.
Education leads to appreciation, and that's the goal, and not just snakes, but for nature in general. So we love to come out and walk around and just enjoy all of it, you know, together.
And whether you're a harmless old water snake, a snake grabber, a snakehead, or a snake chef, our team enjoys sharing the enthusiasm and curiosity of the adventure, sportsmanship, and heritage of Bayou Wild.